Kimberly, thank you for your video post in week 2. Love your feedback and excited to see you veering toward the post-TV book to set up your reflection. You pick up on the sports related chapter. Great job. And of course, that chapter emphasizes for us themes relating to piracy, all right, and fandom. And I think these are some fascinating topics that I'm excited for us to explore in conversation with many other things. But you talk about, let me just do a quick recap. Loyalty and your own experience with the junior hockey team down in the DFW area, which if anyone's had other courses with Kimberly, perhaps you've gained some of that insight, and we're super excited to learn about the experiences from everyone, but especially those. Piracy versus pay and the level of fan interest. You comment on it, perhaps depending on your level of fandom, whether or not you're going to buy into something. I agree to a certain extent. I think people are, that's one of the interest areas, right, for media producers, is if you create content that is of a high enough quality to your niche audience, to your fan base, to use that term, then they will be heavily invested, and they will be financially invested. They will be time invested. That's an important thing to consider for those of us that will be working in and with those industries. It's about the quality of the product, okay? So that's why you tend to see even sports teams that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, perhaps even billions of dollars as a brand. When those stadiums start to get empty, that's a problem sign, right? That's a quality issue, all right? If a team is competitive, or if they're engaging, or if they're doing a good job staying integrated with the community, then you're not going to see those types of issues. I like Kimberly's question relates to which is more difficult to regulate, the piracy of sports content versus the piracy of perhaps other forms of TV content, dramas, TV shows of that sort. And I think this is a fantastic topic for us to consider. I think a couple of things. First of all, if we talk about having conversations. John brought up a great example about not having the time to watch a lot of TV anymore, and I think that's true for a great many working adults in the U.S. And my gosh, if I don't even have the time to watch my favorite shows whenever I want, then why would I go through the exhaustive extra steps and risk to locate pirated versions of those features or shows or what have you? Now, don't get me wrong, piracy still pretty active on a global scale. I really don't hear a lot about it on a local or cultural scale. If anything, maybe the issue is too many sharing of passwords. That is definitely something people, it's their parents or their grandparents or their, a friend of a friend that gives them that password to Netflix, HBO Go, what have you, and then all of a sudden they're accessing all of this content. I've had working adults asking me for passcodes. There was a time when I was just a full-time graduate student studying media, but I had full-time working adults asking me for my passcodes. No, did not share. Do not passcode. Do not collect $200. I think during the heyday of Napster and sites like that, we all kind of dabbled in a little bit of a music download experimentation, right? We were young, we were experimenting with media, but that hasn't really been my mojo for the majority of my adult life. If I want content, I'm going to pay for it. Just like our conversation about streaming versus physical media. If I'm a fan of something, if I want to buy in, or if I find a piece of media important and engaging, part of my personality is I want to buy into it. I'm willing to invest that. So I'll go out and I'll seek out the collector's edition of something if it has that value. Now, on the other hand, that's some media is pretty affordable versus a lot of sports events are outside average American's price bracket. And it's become, especially professional sports leagues have become a very corporatized experience. Okay, only large businesses and companies have the money to become season ticket holders, and then they utilize those as packages, bonuses, that sort of thing, treats for their employees, and or opportunities to do some business in the evening, impress clients, that sort of thing. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but it does alter that fan experience, because suddenly people are kind of in and out of engaging maybe the sporting event itself, because maybe they're there for other business. It's just the sporting event becomes part of that ambiance of some other happening. Great question. Good conversation coming from you this week. Thanks.